5, 6, 7, 8. It's a mess. Oh, it's a mess.
Hello, everybody, and
Oh, it's a
welcome to the
mess.
podcast. It's a mess,
Oh, it's a
sis. So,
mess.
what exactly is a mess?
Oh,
A
it's a
mess is a
mess.
situation or a state of
Oh,
affairs
it's a
that is
mess.
confused or full of difficulties.
Oh, it's a
The
mess.
mess is when things don't
Oh,
go the
it's
way
a
you plan.
mess.
It is when you have to go off script,
5,
improvise,
6,
ad
7,
lib, sit through the
It's a
awkwardness,
mess.
and breathe through the pain until you
Oh, it's
come
a
out on the other
mess.
side. Because you will come out
It's a
on the other
mess.
side. It is everything that makes
Oh, it's
life
a
interesting
mess.
and transformative. It is what
Oh, it's
we
a
are here to do.
mess.
It is how we learn
Oh,
how
it's a
to be.
mess.
So, join us as we
Oh, it's a
dive into this
mess.
week's mess.
Oh, it's a mess. Oh. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm Jessica, and I'm a mess, and I'm
Mhm.
working every day to discover who I am underneath this mess. I'm co-host on my favorite podcast. I'm a writer, a singer, and I'm doing it all while living in LA and figuring this shit out. I've had plenty of strategies about how things would go, but my life had other plans, so I'm wading through this mess with y'all, one thought-provoking topic at a time.
And I'm Rena. I was just wasting time mimicking Jess and failing at it. I'm your other host. I'm a social worker from the DMV. A bit about me: I am a sneakerhead, hence my IG handle at Sneakerine. I'm a film buff, tech enthusiast, and overall content creator. I've been on my own personal self development journey for the past few years, and now I seek an outlet to share all that I've learned, what I've struggled with, and what I continue to absorb on my journey, because I believe that not only can it be beneficial to me, but it also can help someone out there who also shares a similar story.
Dope. That's a little bit about us. And so we're going to move on to an interesting segment of the podcast. And we're going to ask, what's the mess? So, Rena,
Right.
what's the mess?
Jess.
You never get there first. Listen, you got to be on it.
I see. What's the mess?
Mhm.
The mess. I don't, the mess is just, a lot of changes, Uh, yeah, a lot of changes, a lot of shifting and new things happening, for me. Uh, Yeah, new opportunities.
Yeah.
Just
A lot of
yeah, it's
newness.
just, 2020 has been a mess. So
Okay.
I don't think it's been a mess. I think 2020 has really been the year of like breaking down things, deconstructing things. And we think it only, pertains to like our government
Mhm.
and democracy, but really I feel like it's happening on individual levels as
That's
well.
true. That's true.
Um, so like stuff that I've been holding on to, things that like I had built a whole like false foundation, and I just kind of felt the final bricks just kind of crumble.
Mhm.
So now I get the opportunity to build from scraps. It's gonna be fun. Yeah.
I know you didn't say it with a lot of enthusiasm, but it is going to be fun. I know that it's tough to rebuild and to rebrand and to, come up with a whole new strategy after figuring that this was the way life was going to go. But that's the point of the podcast. Sometimes life doesn't go to plan. And this is what we're doing. We're rebuilding ourselves. We're rebranding.
Yes.
We're picking ourselves up out of the dust and creating the life that we want. So I am excited for you. I am also here if you ever need to talk about all this rebranding and rebuilding and things of that nature. But yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
And um yeah, I think when we started this, like I think I had a very, very minute understanding when we named this, it's a mess sis. And it's just this podcast has just really been able to highlight some real truths and really get down to the mess of it. And now that we're talking about mess, Jess, what's yours?
um, my mess is I was telling Rena last week, like, I'm tired of taking care of myself, but not in the way that the universe has to come in and do
No.
anything like tragic. I've told the universe, like, I want to be able to take care of myself, but I feel like the truth is, for so long I took care of so many other people that now the focus being on me, I recognize everything that it takes to uphold and get me to the place that I want to be. There's so much that I hadn't done for myself up until this point. So to get myself to a neutral place to even start stacking extra things that I need to like take care of myself, you know, even the smallest thing, like I need to make a dentist appointment. Like I want my split ends clipped. I need to put in the aloe vera. I need to, you know, all these things. Like I've actually started parting my hair in fours and twisting it up at night. So right. It's just little shit that's not even a huge thing, but it's just like I have to do all of this all the time for the rest of my life. And last week it was a mess, and I was just like, this is a lot. I'm gonna have to keep on doing this. But I mean, in truth, I'm grateful that I have the time and that I have the ability to do these things, and I hope to continue to have the ability. But it's just a lot sometimes, you know. It's like it's never done, and I think that was kind of what I was feeling. Like it's just never done, and sometimes you just want to sit down and shit just kind of go on like autopilot. But I feel like I lived on autopilot for so long,
Yeah.
so maybe I'm having
To
you
catch
know,
up.
having to catch up, but I'm having memories of that being easier. But it's like I wasn't happy though. So I don't know. It's a dilemma, you know, a real dilemma. That's dilemma for those of you who are like, what the fuck is she saying? But yeah,
I really,
it's a real dilemma. I mean, it's really not, but that's the mess though. You know, sometimes it's just like, I don't know. I don't know, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's the mess. But okay, so tell us, what is this episode? What
Oh,
are we
this
doing?
episode 23, Jordan number.
Hey,
Uh, and I do not have a title just yet. Okay, well, okay. Do you have a title?
I just was gonna say what you told me. What do you want? A vision board podcast. I thought it was cool.
There we go.
Catchy for Instagram. Y'all know we gotta do something cute for Instagram. But for now, what do you want? I feel like that is powerful enough of a statement
Yeah,
asking, and it's uncomfortable too. So I feel like that's perfect. What do you want? A
yeah.
vision board podcast.
Yes, I like it. What do you want? A vision board podcast. So that's the episode. And why? Why are we doing this episode? I will go
Right.
first
Tell
before
us.
this tells me to just do that. Yes. Because I'm talking about, new beginnings and building, a new foundation and that question comes up. What do I want? That's what I want to build my foundation on.
Mhm.
And I'm struggling and I need a vision because if you can see it, you can manifest it. And I need it. So yeah, that's why this episode, because I personally need to dig down this topic. I mean, that's the reason for all of our episodes, but
Right.
really this episode because I need it. And I just want to make sure that I'm not just doing things on autopilot, that I'm not, you know, building off of a preset life script, allotted foundation like I did last time. I want to be more intentional, and I want to be more in tune with my highest good, And so,
Yeah.
in order to do that, I have to figure out what that is. And I think this question of asking what I want will give me that.
That's beautiful. And I am going along with the flow because I am a good podcast partner. And no, I'm just kidding. I definitely also am needing to really put words to the vision and know for sure what it is that I want. Because I think a lot of times I do flounder around and I don't make things concrete or make things certain. So I think this is a scary topic because I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to say this. I'm gonna have to really mean this shit because the universe be showing up and showing out after I be dicking shit down. So I said, okay, I'm gonna have to really, really go inward and see what it is that I want. So I definitely am excited for this topic. And yeah, so what is the agenda? Let the people know what we're going to be doing during this episode.
All right, so we're going to dig it down as always, which stands for define, impact, and cope. So, this episode, we will identify and define 3 things we want and why they are needed to create the lives we desire. Next, we will discuss the impact of our wants on our vision of the past, the present, and for the future, or just discuss the impact. Uh, and lastly, we will talk about how we cope, and particularly how we would build this vision. Also, feel free to pause throughout the sections, and we will make it very well known what section we're in. We'll announce it before we move into each section. If want to give yourself time to jot down your own answers and your own thoughts, these are all suggestions. But we're doing this with you, and if you want to do it with us, That's the best way to go about it.
Lovely, lovely. So now we're going to move to the definition portion. And if it's okay with Rena, I'm going to start. Is it okay with Rena?
Yes, it is okay.
Lovely, lovely, perfect, perfect. I wanted to start my definition off with vision because I think to have a vision is to be headed towards a direction. So, according to Google, it's the ability to think about or plan for the future with imagination or wisdom, which I love. I love the wisdom part. And I wanted to include my own personal definition, and that is seeing something not with your eyes, but with your heart and your mind. It's a future thing that you'd like to bring into reality. So, for time's sake, I think we broke down what we wanted into three things. Um, and I took the challenge, I took it as like in a broad sense. Maybe not this year or this month, but just like overall what I want out of life. And so we did three things. And so I did number three. Of course, I'm counting down. So the third thing for me is wealth, which by definition means to have an abundance of valuable possessions or money. And while I absolutely do mean money and land in your typical definitions of wealth, I also mean an abundance in all aspects of life, a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of friendships, and a wealth of good health, which leads me to number two, and that is health. And for me, that's physically, spiritually, and emotionally. I want to be healthy and well in all regards. And then number one for me is happy. Overall, I want at the end of my life, or whatever this thing we call life, I want to look back over it, and the general feeling is that as a whole, I was happy. And so those are the things that I want. Like that's everything that I want encompassed in three things, I think. What about you? What's your
All right.
definition, and what are you wanting?
Oh gosh, my definition, I just realized I didn't define anything, so I'm gonna do it on the fly for real, for real.
Okay.
So, vision for me is an intentional outlook on life. It's something that's very specific, and it should have um, your wants, your needs, your desires. I feel like I've had visions before, like visions for myself, but I don't know if they were really mine. It's easy to
Mhm.
take on someone else's vision. So, for my personal definition, it's something that's authentic to you. It's for you. It's built off of your desires and your feelings and your thoughts, and it's very intentional.
Yeah.
Um, and so my three things,
Yeah.
not these are not. I want more than three things. So since for time's sake, we said three things.
Yeah.
Um, I struggled. I struggled with deciding if I wanted to go with material things because I want my G wagon and I want a cabin and things like that, or if I should go for more abstract things like how I want to feel. I believe that's the key to manifesting, going with the feeling versus the actual outcome, because the universe has a way of giving you exactly what you want, and at the same time you won't be feeling it. Like I just wanted. There's so much I don't know. The
Mhm.
universe, I think, knows a lot more than I do. So I
Mhm.
feel like if I go by the feeling I want, then when I receive whatever thing it is, may it be material or otherwise, then it'll really resonate with me.
Yeah.
And it's really the feeling I'm seeking, not
Mhm.
really the thing. It's the feeling.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I my three things are: I want to be wanted for who I am authentically.
That's dope.
Yeah, yeah. I felt like I was like a burden a lot in life. And I just, yeah, I just want to be able to be myself
Mhm.
and to feel embraced. And I don't know if I'm asking for that from other people.
Mhm.
I think I'm asking that of myself.
Yeah.
And the next thing I want is abundance and prosperity. I feel
Mhm.
like they're kind of one and the same. And when I say that, I'm thinking about how I want to create and talk and write shit for a living and get paid well for it.
Mhm.
And I want to live off of my creations. Um,
Yes.
Yeah, I just that's the abundance. Like I want an abundance of opportunities. I want an abundance of resources to keep this going. You know,
Mm-hmm.
what I'm meant to do, my divine purpose. I want to be able to do it comfortably. You know, I'm not Gandhi. I'm not MLK. I don't feel like I should have to suffer, and nor do I want to. So
Right.
I want to be that. You know, there's plenty of stories out there about, you know, heroes. I want to be that story that tells people that, you know, you can have abundance.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to be the one that's like, you could be a martyr. Like, I want to be I want this to have the story where people look at me and say, wow, she showed me life can be great and abundant.
Yeah. I key for real.
And last but certainly not least, I want joy.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's similar to what you said. You want to be
Yeah.
happy. I
Yeah.
want joy. I want to heal. I want to align my mind, body, and soul so that I can enjoy life. You know, I want to put my joy before everything.
Mm-hmm.
I want all the joy that this world has to offer. Yes.
Yeah.
And
That's
I'm willing to do the work for that.
that's incredible. I really love that. I really love that. It seems like we were kind of aligned in some of our desires, and I think, when you get down to brass tacks, like most people want to just be happy.
Right.
If at the end of it all you can be happy, you've got, and I think some of the things aligning your mind, your body, your soul, that kind of all goes into it. But like, that's really dope.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yours is dope too.
I try. I try. So now, guys, we are moving on into the impact of what this means for us. And I think the impact for me is the first thing was wealth. I think I put was my first thing. And the impact for me is that I work a lot. But I also play the lottery. Because if I don't have to work for the financial wealth, listen, I will not be sad. Not at
I
all,
thought
not in the least.
I thought you said, you know, I work a lot, but I also play a lot. And then you're like, I also play the lottery. Like, I don't know. That took
Serious,
me out.
serious. If that financial wealth can come with the quickness, I will be most grateful to the universe. I think that would
Without
elevate
losing
my
anybody
without losing anybody. I don't want any tragedies to
or a
befall me to have
limb.
this wealth or limbs. I don't want any tragedies. No tragedies for me or my extension. But if that wealth can come with the scratch of a ticket or the Powerball, baby, I will not be sad.
Oh man,
Um,
I need that vision.
you said what?
I said I need to get that vision. Envision
Listen.
that, just winning the lottery. Got my scream mask already, ready to collect.
But for the other things like the wealth of knowledge, I also work really hard to always be creating like new pathways in my brain by learning new and interesting things. I know a little bit about a lot already, and I want to keep doing that. And if someone ever wants to teach me new things, like I'm always receptive to that. I'm always excited for somebody to know something that I don't know so that they can teach me about that. And with friendships, I feel like the impact of that is that I stay open to the possibility of new people entering my life, and I also continue to learn how to be a better friend while also remaining true to who I truly am. I generally start out my friendships expressing what my communication skills are like, because I never want any of my friendships to misinterpret my infrequency in communication as a lack of love or care. So I work really hard to be there in ways that I know I can show up. Like I'll bring my ass to come visit and I give you my undivided attention the entire time I'm with you. But calling regularly, probably not. It probably ain't gonna happen. You know, it just ain't my thing. I hate the phone. And now on to the health, the wealth of health, or my second thing, which was being healthy.
Mhm.
Um, the impact is that I'm doing everything in my power to have a healthy mind, body, and soul. I work out regularly and I eat a pretty healthy diet. And for my spirit, I am now seeking out people who are on that same journey and can guide me in ways to help me find what I need for my spirit and what she needs in how to listen and how to tend to that, because I don't know everything. So I'm opening myself up to the possibility that other people have an understanding, and I'm seeking those people out. And for my heart health, I have to listen to myself when I'm sad or when I'm glad or anything in between, and honor that. I've often allowed my brain to make all the decisions while my poor heart is devastated. I'm making her like, you are gonna be the tough woman's, the black woman, strong woman syndrome, which is like, you're fine, you're okay, you're gonna move through this, you're gonna make it. And meanwhile, my poor heart is just raggedy and tattered and torn and sad and fucking devastated. And I'm just like, you're gonna have to keep pushing that motherfucker, dragging like that old dog off of Futurama. Like, it's just sad. And so I think, you know, the impact is that I'm working on listening to every single aspect so that I can make sure that I have a wealth of health in my heart, in my mind, in my soul. Um, um, so yeah, the impact is that I'm listening, you know what I mean? And I think that leads me to number one, which is being happy. And I think the impact of wanting to be happy is that I have to listen to every single piece and honor it fully. Every single piece of myself I have to listen to. My brain has led the way mostly in my life, and that leads to some sticky moments, or has led to some sticky moments rather. And the impact of wanting happiness is that listening to me is a skill I have to develop. The impact is that I know I haven't developed it yet, but I'm working towards it. I'm working toward honoring. If I just last week, you would have been so proud. I took off so much time from work. I just wasn't
Thank
feeling it.
you.
Listen, I just wasn't.
Jeez.
I'm
If
still stay
you,
home. I'm gonna go in
yeah.
late, or I'm not gonna work out, and I'm gonna get up and go. I went on a lovely hike this Saturday, and it was dope. I'm still honoring my body by giving it, the exercise that it craves. But when I'm tired, I honor the fact that I'm tired. So often I push through and made myself and forced myself, and it just is not working anymore. And I'm acquiescing to myself. I'm releasing and relaxing into myself and honoring when I'm tired and when I'm done. And I asked the universe, I told the universe, like, I'm tired of this thing. And after my hike, my friend actually told me about a position where I could do like contract work from home. So I'm looking into that, and I want to see what that brings me financially, because I don't, and this goes back to the wealth, financial wealth. And, but then I want my body to be well. I'm just listening, and I'm just asking the universe for what I want, and expecting that I deserve it, and being open to that. So I don't know, that's the impact. It's just that I'm in a real interesting place of like really listening to myself for the first time in a long time, and it is dope. I'm not gonna lie, it's dope. It's scary because I feel like, for so long you kind of have been these ideas that you don't know best has come from so many different sides. And then, if you've ever been, I was in a long-term relationship, for those of you who are new listening, and not that this person ever, said out of their mouth that I didn't know best, but you lean into someone else's understanding for so long that you forget how to lean into your own. You go from parent to teacher to spouse to jobs, and all these people telling you how to live, how to think, how to feel. And I don't know. So the impact is that I'm just listening and leaning in to myself. And so it's dope.
You said so many dope things. First of all, the whole thing about the contract position, I don't know why that wasn't in the mess, but whatever. Um,
Right.
that's amazing, and I'm really glad you took some rest because I felt like the universe was gonna mollywop your ass if you didn't. So it's like you either take it or I'm a I'm gonna take something where you have to sit down. And I'm glad you listen to yourself and you listen to your body and your heart
And I
and
listen to
said,
you
I
too.
oh
I
wow.
listen to my friends. Let me put that in there. The impact is that I listen to my friends. For a long time, I thought I knew everything. I'm not gonna lie. I really value myself in that way over people. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you talking about. I'm gonna listen to my mind only and not the rest of my body. You like, sounds like you need some rest. And I was like, that might be a word from the universe. Let me sit my ass down.
Well, I'm glad you were able to receive that
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I said it several times. You
Oh,
know,
okay.
I've been
I
saying,
already
but
said, Rena. Y'all see,
I'm
she
gonna
can't.
milk it. I don't get these moments often.
Or you're right, Rena. You are
Say what?
right.
I didn't quite. I
You
didn't.
are right,
Like
Rena.
just.
Okay, that's it. I'm done. No more.
I know.
But what about for you? What's the impact for you?
So I went about my impact section a little differently as
Okay.
usual. So I put it in. I framed it in terms of past, present, and future.
Okay.
So when it comes to like my past, I didn't have a vision. Well,
Mhm.
I guess I had like that default vision that you get when you graduate from high school.
Mhm.
And I ran with it. I picked this out. I was like, this look good. Let's do it. And I really never saw anything past 30. Like all of my goals were aligned with getting everything done by 30.
Yeah.
Um, so now that I'm past that, I won't say how, who cares? I'm 33. Who gives a fuck? Seriously. Like there's life after 30. I want
It
people to know
really is.
that.
It really is.
It's actually, I feel like it's actually my life after 30.
Mhm.
Um, because everything I'm experiencing right now is a complete shock. And grab bag of shit that I never could have imagined.
Mhm.
Some of the things that I've done, never that wasn't part of the script. Like I completely went rogue. And I think I'm better for it. Because I was on autopilot. Like I had checked out. I had no intention. I was just following this list and I was just I was surviving. I survived well,
Yeah.
but I wasn't thriving. I wasn't really taking a bite out of life. I
Mhm.
wasn't really digesting anything. Like I wasn't learning anything. I was just really wasn't tapping into the potential of what life could be
Yeah.
because I was so focused on just like avoiding pain and like, it's kind of like, if you play sports, you can sit on the bench and it's great to watch sports, but it's something different about actually being out on the field. I
Yeah.
think Brene Brown was talking about that in her gosh, is it Daring Greatly book or she has like a Netflix special. I forgot the name of it, but she was talking about that, how you have to get out there into the thick of it, get onto the field. And I was not on the field. I was very safe on I was like high up in the nosebleeds, just and
Yeah.
so far away from the action, I couldn't even see. I'm like, what sport is this? What are we doing?
It's only your life.
Right. So then that leads me to the present, how it's like what I did in the past. Now I'm in the present. This is
Mhm.
where I am. And I'm confused at times how
Yeah.
I got here because I was so uninvolved emotionally in
Yeah.
the past. So that's forced me to realize that I need to be more aware
Mhm.
and that I need to have a vision in the present
Yeah.
and for my future. Like I can't just like yeah, have faith, of course,
Mhm.
but there's also I have to ask for what I want. I have
Right.
to think about what I want. Those are things that I didn't think about because I didn't think I would get them.
Yeah.
Um, and I have to realize that I have to make different decisions than I did in the past, or I have to make decisions, period, because
Mhm.
by being so uninvolved in my life before, I wasn't making any decisions.
Mhm.
People ask you what you want to eat. I don't know. It sounds good, and just go along with it.
Yeah.
Now I'm kind of like, no, I don't want that. I want this, and if you want something else, you can go get that. But I'm gonna go get this sushi because that's what I want.
Mhm.
And that's okay, and being okay with that. So I have to learn myself and my tendencies, and I need to have a firm grasp or maybe not so firm, but I need to have some form of understanding of what I'm going for based off of my personal wants and my desires. And part of that is accepting what I want and what I desire because, I've been groomed to accept the American dream,
Yeah.
but I know better than that too.
Mhm.
So I'm realizing I have to think for myself. I have to do for myself, and I have to embrace. I need to know when to let go of things, and when to embrace what's for me, even if I didn't expect it, even if it wasn't on this list.
Mhm.
To be able to know when something feels good and that, okay, I should do this. And when something doesn't feel so good, even though it sounds like a really great position and it's technically what you thought you said you wanted, but it gives you the bubble guts every time you think about it. Maybe you should do that, you
Right.
know? And then for the future, I'm hoping that by staying in the present now and making
Mhm.
self-honoring choices and being honest and vulnerable and asking for help in the form of going within and praying and meditating, that it will lead me to all the things that I want and also help me to maintain it.
Yeah.
So,
That's
and
dope.
yes, 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 that's where I
Yeah.
am.
Yeah. I feel like you said a lot, but my favorite thing was that life at 30. Well, not my favorite, but one of my favorite things was that life after 30 is your life. And I was telling one of these people that I just met who's like doing the whole dreading turning 30 thing. And I'm just like, yo, it is incredible. Because I feel like the discussion we're having right now about
Right.
what we want and how we get there and how we're listening to ourselves and listening fully to everything that we want. I was not there. I was not ready in my 20s. I
I
couldn't
wasn't,
have
no,
had this conversation.
no, it
I mean,
wasn't
I
about what I
think
wanted.
no, it was about what I felt like I should do. And I was in the middle of the midst of my relationship. So it would have definitely been what we should do, our life. And it's nothing wrong with that. And I think relationships
Right.
are beautiful. And I love to see very loving, beautiful relationships. But I want people to know that it's okay to honor yourself. And I think that's what you're saying. It's okay to honor yourself and really fully listen to what you need and what you want, and make those things a reality.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
Yeah.
100% what I'm saying. And we're so afraid to turn 30, and then they tell us like, 18 to 29 are the best years of our lives. And it's like, it- it's you have your whole life.
Right.
Why just try to like reduce it to 12 years? I
Really.
did that math right. Yeah, 12. No, it's 11 if you stop at 29. Okay,
You
whatever.
almost, you
I
almost.
was close. Um, And I think, that was a fear. Like I was rushing off to do everything by 30 because I just thought, it was over after that. But it's like now that I'm over the hill, like they say, I'm like, oh,
Over the hill is a good
okay.
point.
Oh, it isn't? I thought it was at
Yeah.
30.
Oh,
Dang, that
wow.
was early.
You
You
was
sure?
really, yes. You was really dreading 30. Damn, girl.
Oh man. I was like, look, I gotta get this house, I gotta get this car, and do all this by 30 because I won't exist no more. Like it almost felt like I wasn't gonna have any opportunities to do anything else. And that is false. So,
Is. And
you
it's so
know,
funny because I feel like I've never had as many opportunities as I have right now to live the life that I want.
mhm,
And it is incredible. It is
right?
incredible because I'm not living what people think maybe someone my age should be living. I am living a very, very young life right now.
It is awesome.
It is awesome. It is what I need. It has been healing. It's been cathartic. And it's because I'm listening to myself.
Right.
I can't live for anybody that's my age, anybody that's in my age group, my peers, my family, my friends. I can't live for anyone else. As much as I want to go and be with my niece and nephew in that setting, because that's also a thing that pulls to me sometimes, but it's not the main thing. And my heart and my soul and my mind are aligned with where I am. And the growth that I've seen when I finally just listened and acquiesced is just, ooh, it's something incredible. It's been magical. I'm not gonna lie, it's been magical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like
Eh,
that.
yeah,
That
well,
just said a whole word.
yeah, listen, listen. Okay, so now for if you're following along, we're gonna move on to the cope. How do we cope
Yes.
with all of this understanding that we have for ourselves now? And I think for me, I cope by admitting these things to myself and the universe. And by these things, I mean what I want. I cope by sitting with the idea that all of it is possible and that I am worthy and deserving of all of this and more. I cope by understanding that in all these things, I may have a bad day. I may have a day where I don't make as much money. I may have a day where I'm sick a little bit. I may have a day where I don't work out. I may have a day where my friends are looking shaky. But in all of that, it's not over. Maybe on my journey, this day may not look as bright, but overall, I can and will have what I desire. I cope by breathing in the possibility that I can have it all. And that in itself makes me happy, which is my number one goal in life.
Man, one of these days we're gonna do like a meditation mantra or something with you, and you're gonna like 'cause that right there. I feel like we could record that and just
Uh,
play that by
Thank
itself.
you. Thank you. Listen, I'm having to say it to myself. I'm not just saying it for the podcast. I say these things to myself because I really want to be better every single day. I really want at the end of my life to be joyous, to have
Yeah.
achieved what I'm here for. Because I really don't know another reason, you
Right.
know? No
Right.
another reason. So it's like I'm striving for this for myself, and I hope other people will come along for the journey.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what about you? How do you cope?
Oh man. I cope by having this conversation. I asked for it. I reached out to you and I'm like, this is what we should talk about.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, it's scary, but yeah, it's great. Um, and I cope with actually asking for something from the universe. For the longest time, I wouldn't even dare ask. I really thought I had to go it alone. Um, and by being intentional and going within and asking for what I want and what I need. And like, it's easy to just say, I want whatever. I can't even think of anything right now. Uh, well, I mean, I can think of things, but part of me not wanting to ask sometimes because you have to be careful, because you have to be intentional, because you have to have an understanding of what you're asking for. And it has to come from a place that's like deeper than just what you think you want.
Mhm.
Because the mind is great, but it serves the soul. So if they're not connected, the mind can really come up with some crazy ass shit.
Wow.
And and it may not be bad, but it may just not be for you. It may not
Right.
just be quite it, because it's just going off of what it knows.
Hmm.
You know, it that's so yes. So I cope by not being afraid,
Yeah.
by like kind of approaching fear head on and working on my sense of self-worth. This is key, so that
Hmm.
I can attract the things I want.
Ooh.
In everything, the way I want it to come to me is with ease and grace. I want it to flow to me,
Yeah.
and I don't want to have to compromise who I am for anything, for what I think I want. If
Yeah.
it's for me, it will be for me. And I can wait for it, and I don't have to rush after it, and I don't have to slash tires or burn vehicles or anything like that. Like, I don't have to do anything crazy.
Yeah.
Like, it'll just be for me and it'll fit. And and with that, I'm also working on believing that I am deserving of that.
Yes.
Like, I'm really trying to put myself first, figure out what I want, and say, okay, universe, you got me. I told you what I want.
Yeah.
I have faith that you're going to provide this. And I'm going
Yeah.
to be patient, and I'm going to do the work you tell me to do. And I'm not going to force shit anymore, because you told me I was stubborn. And I have an emotional blockage. I got a reading. I had an emotional blockage reading, and told me
Oh.
the universe called me stubborn and said it's been a problem since I was 32. And I'm like, what did I do a year ago?
Damn.
When was I stubborn? It's like, because I don't listen. It's like,
Right.
okay, now I'm like, I'm listening, I'm surrendering. You said I done got rid of everything that I thought I wanted, that I had built up. I'm like, foundation's done. Okay, let's rebuild this.
Yeah.
So I'm listening. Like, just tell
Mhm.
me what I need to do. I'm gonna just be chill. I'm not gonna force shit. I won't listen to my stomach. We gonna do this.
Okay.
Right.
That's
So
beautiful.
that's
That's how you're
thanks.
coping.
That is how I'm coping, by
Okay.
listening and by relaxing as much as I can and having faith and believing that, and accepting what I want, and believing that I'm deserving of it.
I love that. So I think I want to do a recap. We forgot that the last episode, but the recap is that both Rena and myself want joy or happiness, abundance or wealth. In my case, for Rena, she wants to be loved for who she is authentically, and for me, I like health. Um, and I think the impact for both of us is that we're having um, to be in the moment and be here and be present and recognize when we are off of alignment with those things, and to call those things into the present. And I think that goes into for both of us how we're coping, which is by listening and asking for the things and believing also that we are worthy of these things that we want. I am looking forward to what this manifestation, this calling out to the universe is going to do for both of us, what that's going to look like, because we both believe and we're working on our belief and we're continually working on listening to ourselves and getting into alignment. So I am very excited to see what this does for both of us in our lives, and I'm excited to see what it does in your life. I hope that you guys will come to the live on Sunday and tell us how things are. What you're looking forward to, what you want in life, what is
Yes.
the vision that you have for yourself. And so yeah, that is the recap. And I think we want to do some shout outs now. Is there any shout outs that you want to do, Rena?
Just shout out to everybody who's still rocking with us, who's listening to the podcast, who finds, joy in it, who, feels like we're really speaking to them. Like, just shout out to y'all.
Mm-hmm. And I want to shout out to everybody who is learning about themselves. I want to shout out to everybody who didn't have a bad day yet, or who had a bad day yesterday and got up and made today a better day. I want to give a shout out to everybody who is just trying a little bit harder than they had to try yesterday. Like I want to give a shout out to those people who are doing their best, because sometimes that's all we have to give. And I'm proud of you, and I know I'm proud of me when I do my best the next day. So that is my shout out for this episode. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, we are ready for the meditations.
Your favorite part.
My favorite part, if you are new, this is my favorite part. What we do is take a couple big deep breaths, we set an intention, and then we let you go about your day. So if you are ready, take a big deep breath with me. We'll take a second deep breath. Take one more breath with me. And now I'll set my intention. My intention is to listen to myself so that I continue to fall in alignment, to believe that I am worthy of the things that I ask, and to ask with wholeness and fullness from what I want from the universe.
And my intention is to focus on what I want and to accept and believe that I am worthy of receiving it.
That's beautiful. We'll take a last set of breaths. Take a big deep breath with me. We'll take a second deep breath. And take a last deep breath with me. All right, your intentions have been set for the day. Go out there and flourish this. Today doesn't have to be a mess.
But it's okay if it is.
So Liz, y'all, thank you so much for tuning in again. We are so appreciative of you guys coming and joining us and listening and digging it down and just giving us your insights and your good energy, your positive vibes. We feel it, we love it, we appreciate it. Is there any closing remarks that we have? Is there anything we need to let them know?
Are we still Zoom? We still thinking about it? Maybe a little bit. Ah.
I'm down. Yes, let's do it.
Okay, so we're thinking about doing it. Well, we're going to do another Zoom.
Yes.
A Halloween Zoom.
Halloween Zoom. November 1st.
Yes.
9:30.
November 1st.
9:30 Eastern.
Eastern, yes. 9:30 p.m.
6:30.
It's the same time as our lives. 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Pacific.
Yes, join us, dick it down. We'll let y'all know what the conversation and the topic would be. We're thinking about dressing up. We would love to see your costumes. Yeah, come out and join us. I think that'll be a lovely time.
Yeah, it will be.
All right, well, if there's nothing else, we're going to catch y'all on the flip side. Peace.
It's a mess.
Hey, that's why
It's
I
a
can't
mess.
sing.
It's okay. He's gonna talk over my singing though. Okay, it's ready now.